Now, the next topic is actually very interesting, guys. It actually has to do with trans-related issues. It has to do with trans people in sports. I think specifically this is in school sports, so, probably the high school level and below. And this has obviously been a big talking point for a lot of people. A lot of people think, hey, it's not fair that you don't allow them to be included into sports, and everything like that, in certain sports and things like that. There's a lot of people who are saying, hey, well, the bone density structure, what I'm saying, from a biological standpoint, these people are very different. So if you put them into, a sporting type of environment, there could be tons of consequences. People could get hurt. Scholarships could be taken from people, things like that, where somebody who may not have been able to be proficient with the men may be able to go over to the female side and then be, effective in that. In which we've seen a lot of cases of things like that happen within track. I've seen it happen within wrestling, and we saw it for sure within swimming, which, as you guys can see by the thumbnail of my live stream, that it was essentially a person who was mediocre, in college as a male swimmer, switched over to the female team and instantly won first place, and took that from, I guess you would say essentially a biological girl who had been working her whole life swimming to win that award. So I'm not going to hold you guys up anymore with my jibber jabber. I'm going to get a sip of this water and let's see what they have to say. Now it says House Republicans passed transgender sports ban for schools. The bill, which will not pass the Senate, it says that it will not pass the Senate. Okay, let's get what is she doing? Hold on, she was distracting. She's distracting me. Now it says, as you know, too, this is NBC News, so we don't really know exactly what will happen, but this is just what they're saying. They could have a bias and everything like that. But what we really want to do is we just want to see the facts and, build as much of an understanding of what's going on with this bill, what's being pushed, and everything like that. Okay, so it says the bill, which will not pass the Senate, would prohibit schools that receive federal funding. Okay. Federal funding from allowing people whose sex is male to participate in sports designed for women or girls. I would assume that the bill would also just say it vice versa too. I mean, that would only make sense. Just make it fair, equality, and everything like that. Oh, so the males can't play in female sports, but females can play in male sports. Is that essentially what they're saying? Now let's make myself a little bit bigger here for you guys so you guys can see how big my head is. All right. So it says Washington. The Republican-controlled House passed legislation Thursday that would ban transgender women and girls from competing in female school athletics, the latest GOP salvo in the intensifying culture wars over rights in America. The bill, authored by Republican Greg, the Republican of Florida. Is that Florida? FLA? Florida? Normally see like just FL, Florida. Yeah, it's got to be like Florida. Okay. Would amend the title to bar schools that receive federal funding from allowing people whose sex is male to participate in sports designed for women or girls. So, only if you're receiving federal funding. So obviously private schools would still be allowed to hold whatever event they wanted to. I wonder if that means, though, like, let's say you're a private school, but you're in a league with public schools. Would that mean that you're still would that mean that you're still allowed to have transgender students compete while the other schools that are, let's say, public schools and they're receiving funding wouldn't be able to? I feel like that could possibly be an advantage, Now it says the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act defines sex as based solely on a person's reproductive biology and genetics at birth. Oh, wow. I know a lot of people are not to hear that. Not happy to hear that. Now it says the bill passed on a strictly party line 219 to 203 vote, with all Republicans voting yes and all Democrats voting no. But as we know, the Republicans own the House. But it will go nowhere in the Democratic-controlled Senate. The White House has said President Joe Biden would veto the measure, which targets people for who they are and therefore is discriminatory, if it were to make it to his desk. So I guess the real question here is questioning who people are. I guess, obviously the Republicans are saying like, hey, like just because you transition doesn't mean that you aren't this. And the Democrats are saying, hey, well, if somebody self-identifies as that, then that's exactly what they are, and everything like that. I've already said, I think that, in sports, you have to be really careful about these things. And I do feel like they should have to be separated. Or I feel that at a certain point, people are just going to start getting injured. Like like Serena Williams said that she wouldn't be able to beat, I think she said, the top 100th or 200th tennis player in the world. Like, I think that this will take opportunities away from women. I think this definitely will. I think people will start playing with the system, because think, if you can just say, hey, I identify as a woman, then all of a sudden you can start getting scholarships in high school and things like that. I assume that at some point there will be a person who can't afford scholarships and they're on, let's say, a basketball team, and they're on a male's basketball team, and they know they're not going to be able to go D1. They know they're not that good. They're not going to be able to do anything. And they're going to say, I identify as a woman. And then what they're going to do is they're going to go over, hop on a women's team. They're going to tear everybody up. And then once they win and everything like that, they're going to get their scholarship. And that may sound good to you guys, but think, who is that scholarship being taken away from? That scholarship is being taken away from a biological woman who probably worked really hard to, get a scholarship, a basketball scholarship. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. What side are you guys on when it comes to this whole sports type of thing? Now, let's see here. Now, it says, before the vote, Republican women rallied behind the bill, with GOP conference chair Elise Stefanik, a Republican of New York, a former high school lacrosse player, calling the transgender sports ban a winning issue across America. Now, they're probably saying that because if you're fighting for trans issues or and everything like that, and if you're trying to make the distinction, sports is probably the easiest way to see it, because from a biological standpoint, our bodies are different. So what I'm saying, you could say, like, let's say it's like, if it's school, whether somebody should be allowed to be in a certain school or something like that. That may be a little different because that's built on just your head, how you act. It's not really something that your body has a advantage in. It's almost like weight classes. You know what I'm saying? There's certain sports like golf where, being taller or being shorter may not help you out at all. Whereas you can't put a person who's in a featherweight versus a heavyweight, and even though it could be Floyd one of the best fighter in the world, but if you put him in with somebody who's just out of his weight class, then it's not really a fair fight, and then it kind of ruins the sport for everyone, because it's essentially at that point not really fair. Now, they said there are new norms in our locker rooms. Young girls are being exposed to, and have to undress themselves and expose their own bodies to these, everything like that. She said, let's stop distorting reality. It's beyond disgusting, and I cannot believe that we're subjecting the girls to this type of exploitation. Makes me sick to my stomach. The bathroom issue is definitely, one that people are having a hard time with. I actually saw a video on World Star today where there was, in an airport, there actually was a bathroom for all genders. So it was an all gender bathroom, and a lady, she was going in there, she was recording. It was people were just having a good time there. They were going to the bathroom. Everyone was really just in there kind of like, what is this? Like, I kind of walked in to like see what's going on. They're all like, hey, it's like, but it was kind of weird. You were seeing men and women just walking through the bathroom together. It was quite awkward to see. And that could be very dangerous. That could be very dangerous, especially for women, I feel. So I feel like, if this is what the American people want, then get it. But we have to realize that this is definitely a sensitive topic, and it's definitely something that you should kind of tread lightly on, because it can really affect people's lives. Now it says a 2018 study on allowing trans people to use public facilities according to their identity showed no link with the increase in safety issues. So it's good to look in the facts. So that's a good thing to know, because that's already what I was thinking. Couldn't this be like end up being like an issue? It says while a 2019 study found that trans and non-binary teams were more likely to have experienced, that or harassment if they attended a school that did not allow them to use bathrooms and locker rooms that conform with their gender identity. Interesting. Now it says Democrats have accused Republicans of going after those people to build their political brand and raise cash from conservative donors. And they argue the bill would target and make life harder for people who are already struggling with bullying, depression, and thoughts of self-deletion. Now, the bill makes school sports less fair by singling out and banning women and girls as young as kindergarten from participating on school sports teams with their friends, said the Republican who advocates for the rights on Capitol Hill. We know students already face widespread bullying and discrimination. Adding to their pain by targeting their participation in school sports is both wrong and dangerous, which I get the whole inclusion thing. That is definitely one way to look at it for sure. Now, in a floor speech Wednesday, Steve argued that Congress had created a title a half a century ago to protect women's sports and give an equal playing field for women in athletics. In worship to their idols, the Biden administration wants to flip that on its head. It's insane. Now it says parents do not want biological men in locker rooms with their daughters. I wouldn't. I would not. I would not be for that. Nor do they believe it's equitable a male can compete with women in female athletics. Republicans stepped up their political attacks on athletes after the University of Pennsylvania swimmer. God, there's a bug, guys. Sorry, this bug had distracted me. It's like in front of the light. But she switched to the women's team after she came out as a trans woman and became the first trans woman to win an NCAA swimming championship. Since then, more than a dozen GOP-led states have enacted bans on those athletes. Republicans have also pushed for state laws to restrict care for those minors, basically, allowing children to make the decision, to, remove certain parts and things like that so they can, identify and be, who they want to be and everything like that. I think that that's something that you should just do when you're 18. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta, I think that's something like, I think as far as body transformation or dysmorphia, I believe if we don't think you're old enough to, drive or, well, obviously you can drive before 18, but you get what I'm saying. All the things that come with being 18 and being an adult, I don't think we should say children who we already know we haven't deemed them to be developed enough to do all of these other things. I don't think self-mutilation is one that goes into that. Like, it's crazy. You can't decide if you want to drink a beer, but you can self-mutilate yourself. That seems a little strange to me. But let me know what you guys think about it. I'm open to all types of, different proposing views. Maybe I'm looking at it differently. Maybe I'm looking at it in a strange way. Maybe I'm looking at it a little off, Now, the Biden administration weighed in this month by proposing new regulations that would prohibit categorical bans on athletes at schools receiving federal funding, but allow some restrictions at more elite levels of competition. The proposal summary says the rules should take into account differences in age, grade, or level of competition. I guess that could make sense, you know what I'm saying? Like think about it, when you have 3-year-olds, does it really matter? Like, I feel like if you have a soccer team and it's a bunch of fourth graders, I mean not fourth graders, 4-year-olds or something like that. I don't think it really matters. Like, if they're male or female like that, like, at that level in development. But so I guess there could be very much a gray area with this, but Now it says the education department expects that elementary school students would generally be able to participate on school sports teams consistent with their gender identity, where considerations may be different for competitive high school and college teams. Okay, so they are saying like high school would be like that would be a little bit different. Macy Petty, a NCAA basketball volleyball player at Lee University in Tennessee, was one of the several female students athlete who appeared after the vote with Kevin McCarthy. She recounted that she competed against a trans person at a volleyball tournament while she was trying to get recruited by college scouts. She said female athletes who sacrifice so much for their sport are being pushed out of athletics, adding that nets in women's volleyball games are 7 inches shorter than in men's games. It's a big difference. Suddenly, mediocre athletes can hit like all Americans, and that's exactly what happens, she said. My nose has been itchy, guys. All right. So, let me know what you guys think about this. I think the Republicans don't think this bill is going to get passed. I think they're trying to send a message, and everything like that, because it seems like the Democrats are really going to go against this bill. So, and if not, Joe Biden is literally just going to come down and strike with the power of 1,000 vetoes. So I think that this was really just a ploy to just kind of like test the water, see how society would take it, see who they could get to come out of the water in support of it and everything like that, and kind of really touch ground. But let me know what you guys feel about that. Do you guys think that men should be allowed to compete in female sports and everything like that? Do you guys think that's fair? Do you guys think that's not fair? Do you guys think that's everything like that? Also, do you guys think that gray area of who is allowed to do it, like should there be a certain age where it's okay or something, or should it just be banned outright? I want to know, so let me know how you guys feel about that. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow and everything like that. I appreciate you guys popping in. You guys have really been helping the channel grow, and that's all I could really ask for, so thank you. Thank you to everybody who popped into the stream. It's been a good one. I hope you guys all have a great, 420 and everything like that. Stay away from those doobies though. Watch some basketball tonight. The Suns are playing tonight. But you guys all have some great day, a great day, and be blessed.